Welcome to the Wisdom for Life podcast with David Baker. David was a former paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division and for over 30 years has been a preacher. He has written 5 books and is an Amazon #1 best-selling author. He is the chaplain at the county jail, pastors a church, and is the father of 11 children. Yes, 11. This podcast is here to give you wisdom for your family, your marriage, your children, your finances, your health, and your life. And now, the host of Wisdom of Life podcast, David Baker.
Hello and welcome, David Baker, your host for the Wisdom for Life podcast. We're glad you're here. This is Monday. We jump right in on Monday and give you something to teach your children. Here's a topic for the week and 7 lessons with which to teach your children. If you want to take notes, that's great. If you want to just get a copy of the book, it's called How to Raise Rich Kids. I'm not reading from the book. The book is there. You can read from that. I'm teaching the lessons, and you can teach this yourself. You can read the book to them, however you want to do it. But a great thing to do is take a topic for the week, divide it up into 7 different lessons so you can repeat that topic. Repetition is the key to learning. All right. So last week, if you missed that, we talked about listening, obeying and listening to your parents. What a big deal that is. If they don't listen, all the things you teach is not going to matter. So they have to get that first. So if you need to, go back to Monday and get that one. This one is children, the warning of people. The warning of people. Solomon goes out of his way to teach his son about the bad people that could hurt and mess up his life. The #1 influence on our children during their teenage years usually are going to be their peers. It doesn't have to be that way. You can still be their #1 influence, but for most teenagers out there, other people have more influence on your children than you do. And so if that be true, or whatever influence they give to someone else, we need to make sure they're not getting influenced by people that are going to mess them up. We have 11 children, as you know. I'm also the chaplain at the county jail, 28 years. I've gone to the jail, worked with thousands of guys. And you see so many of these problems that come up. And listen carefully. It's not alcohol that brings them to jail. It's not drugs that brings them to jail. It's not stealing that brings them to jail. It's not all these other things. It's not a what. It's not what they did that brings them to jail. Listen carefully. It is who they are with that brings them to jail. It's not a what, it's a who. It's always a who. Galatians 5:7 says, "You did run well. Who did hinder you that you should not obey the truth?" It's not a what did hinder you, it's a who. Who did hinder you? What person were you with that messed you up, that taught you something different than what Paul taught them? That's what happens. It's always a who. I have dealt with literally thousands of guys and asked them, when did you start drinking? And who were you with? When did you start using drugs? And who were you with? It's amazing for those guys how many times it was literally 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. But it was always a who. It was never one person who just started doing it by himself. It never was. I want you to listen carefully. Solomon warns his son about 13 different types of men. I'm not going to teach all through this. Just want to give you 7 lessons for it. But listen to the men Solomon warns his son about. Solomon warns his son about a foolish man, a wicked man, an evil man, a cruel man, a slothful man, a wrathful man, an ungodly man, a furious man, mad man, deceitful man, a violent man, a froward man, and an angry man. Isn't that amazing? 13 different types of men Solomon warns his son about. He also warns him about a lot of different types of women, 8 of them. He warns his son about a foolish woman, a strange woman, an evil woman, a whorish woman, a brawling woman, an odious woman, an angry woman, and a contentious woman. You shouldn't be judging people. Solomon taught his son to listen and watch people, and when you perceive in them that they do not have the lips of knowledge, go from them, okay? That's day number 2. But day number 1, Proverbs 4, verse 14, "Enter not into the path of the wicked. Go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away." Boy, he tells him, son, leave, go, get away, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, pass away. Don't pass go, don't collect $200, don't get around them. Enter not in the path of the wicked and go not in the way of evil men. Son, when you see people that are being wicked, that are being evil, leave, run, literally run. If you saw a bear, I know you're not supposed to run from a bear, but if you saw something big, bad, ugly chasing you, run. That's what God said about these people. So number 1, teach them Proverbs 4:14 and 15, don't get close to people that are evil, that are doing bad. Day 2, Proverbs 14:7. Love this verse. Go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. When you perceive that someone does not have knowledge, go from them. Go. Go from the presence of a foolish man. You're judging him. You can call it whatever you want to, but that's Bible. We are to look at people and to see if they're worthy, if they're doing right, if they're serving God, if they're evil. Here it says, when you perceive not in them the lips of knowledge. This person's an idiot. I'm not hanging around them, or that's going to rub off on me. And it does. Teach your son, listen to people. Watch people. When you see them being stupid, when you see them not using knowledge, go from their presence. Day 3, Proverbs 13:20. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Companion of fools shall be destroyed. Teach our children to, when you're around wise people, you're going to be wise. It's going to rub off on you. But the companion of fools, son, get away from them, because you'll be destroyed right along with them. But Dad, I didn't do anything. But you were there. Let me explain to you what the jail calls that, what the police call that, what the FBI calls that. You're called an accessory to a crime or an accomplice to a crime. Guess what? That's a crime. They'll put you in jail for that. I didn't do anything. I was just there. Exactly. You're an accomplice. You're an accessory. I had talking to a guy one time, and he just got out of jail, came right back. What happened? I went home. Friend came by. Hey, you want to go cruising around? No, I got probation. Need to be home. Oh, come on. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay. Got in the car, driving. Hey, you want to drive? Oh, I haven't driven in a long time. I know. It'd be fun. You want to drive? Okay. All right. So he let him drive. And the friend tells him, hey, pull up over here. I got to get something. Okay. So the guy went in. He came out running, told the guy I'm working with, go, man, go. What? Go. Let's go. Get out of here. So he pulls out. Next thing you know, he realized he just robbed that restaurant. Guess what? He didn't know it. It wasn't his fault. He was just with the guy. But guess what? He got put in jail. He's the brother. He's the car man. He's the driver. He's the getaway guy. He didn't know it, but guess what? You are now an accessory or an accomplice to a crime. Son, get away from people. When you see fools, get away from them, because you'll be destroyed right along with them. Number 3. That was number 3. Number 4. Proverbs 22:24 and 5. Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go, lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul. Wow, make no friendship. Oh, I thought we were supposed to be friends to everybody. No, make no friendship with an angry man. With a furious man thou shalt not go, lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul. When you're around an angry man, you're going to learn his ways and you're going to be like him. Like you're around a wise man, you're going to be wise. You're around an angry man, guess what? That's going to rub off on you, and you're going to get a snare to your soul. Son, don't make friends with them. Son, you watch very carefully what people do, what people say, how they act, before you become and make them friends. Friendly to everyone. Friends with very few people after you watch and see that they're wise, serving God and doing right. Day 5, Proverbs 16:27 through 29. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. And a froward man soweth strife, and a whisper separateth chief friends, and a violent man enticeth his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. It is amazing in those 3 verses, Solomon teaches his son what an ungodly man will do, what a froward man will do, and what a violent man will do. Okay? Get away from them. Get away from them. They're digging up evil. They're sowing strife. They're enticing their neighbor. They're not good. Get away from them. Watch people. Look and see. I had a good mom and dad, but mom was very naive. A friend came to pick me up. We were going to go out, and she came to get me and said, son, so-and-so's here at the door, but he has on a beer T-shirt. I said, really? Yeah, he doesn't drink, does he? Oh, no, I'm sure it's just his dad's. Oh, okay, be careful. Okay, bye, Mom. Very naive, okay? Parents, watch, look, see, listen. See who your kids are around, who they're listening to, who's going to affect them. You're going to look at your kids one day and go, what happened to my kids? We allowed them to be around people that weren't doing right, and now our children are not doing right. Day 6. A couple on women, we'll have another week just on that, but while we're warning of people, Proverbs 2, verse 16, to deliver thee from the stranger which flattereth with her words. Solomon warns his son so much about the wrong kind of a woman as the wrong kind of a man. Wrong woman can mess up a man faster than just about anything. She flatters with her words. Flatters with her words. Don't be taken with her eyelids, Solomon warns his son. Watch out for a strange woman. Your children said, son, wait for the one that God sends you. When someone's flattering and trying to entice you, run. And last on this week, day 7, Proverbs 21:9, it is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop, okay, than with a brawling woman in a white house. Son, you be careful. You listen. You watch the way they do. If they have a temper, they get angry, they get mad. Like I said, I've been doing the jail for 28 years, and I've seen so many domestic. And it is amazing how many times it is the woman that is being that way. There are men, of course, that beat their wives and beat their girlfriends, and that's wrong and horrible and bad. But it's amazing how many times it's the guy that's getting hit and beaten up. How come? Because he married someone that's a brawling woman. He married somebody that has a hot temper. Married somebody that wasn't controlled and did what they wanted to do. And now they're taking it out on him. Son, it's a big deal who you're around. You watch, you listen. You don't give your heart. You don't make friendship until you watch and see that someone is wise, serving, obeying God, and doing right. Because, son, you will become like them. Okay? So, week number 2, these topics to teach your children, the warning of people. Okay, the warning of people. We must warn our children of the people that are around, or they will be like them. And guess what? We will lose our children. We'll lose them. There's nothing else that can say. We will lose our children. So God bless you, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Wisdom for Life podcast. If you have any questions for us, email us at askpastorbaker@gmail.com, and we will answer them in an upcoming podcast. The email is askpastorbaker@gmail.com.